Thank you for watching another live edition of the East West Football Podcast. I am Fidel Barraza. Alongside with me, like always, Jerry Martinez, Kendall Whitley. What's going on, guys?
Pump,
Playoff
man.
football. Playoff
Divisional
football.
round playoffs. Been a while since me, right? Obviously, it's not hard. I mean, everybody's been following us for what? I mean, shoot, we're already going on.
Year three.
Dang, year three, man. That's kind of crazy when we actually look at it, right? But man, I mean, everybody knows who I hang my hat on, and it's been a roller coaster since 2020. That's for damn sure. You know what I mean? But to see the Cowboys in this current situation, it's definitely an exciting time. But it's hard, right? Not to be a homer, or not to be that. You want to be able to still look at football and look around, and it's really fun.
Yeah, I think what's really exciting me is just this how close these games been. We've had some people come back, some teams come back from comebacks or whatnot, and like when you think a team's out, they're not out. Look at the Jacksonville and the Chargers game. Everybody probably rooted the Jaguars out. Second half, come out, make some quick adjustments, and look at the outcome. So I think this past weekend was a great slate of football games, and we're in for even another slate this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great game of weekends. I mean, essentially all the games were close besides the one on Monday Night Football between the Cowboys and the Buccaneers. Let's just go through the games really quick. So obviously, Niners beat the Seahawks. Not really much to talk about there. But the second game of the day between the Los Angeles Chargers, and I should say Los Angeles Chargers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Essentially, at one point, I believe the Chargers were up 27-0, and they came back to lose the game 30-31.
Up 27-0. I actually left out, came back. Jacksonville had to score, then seemed like it just started the steamroll from there. I see a lot of people want to blame Herbert. I say the defense, man. Your defense, if you got y'all puts at 27 points, your defense got to keep that lead too, man. A lot of people been blaming the coaching and Justin Herbert. But I think a lot of blame goes to Derwin James and that defense. Not to really call out Derwin James, I'm just saying, but that defense as a whole, like I think a lot of the blame goes there. You let them with 27 points, missing field goals, just sloppy play down the stretch. And this is the charge. This is the same old Chargers that we've known.
But you gotta also look at it the other side too. These Jacksonville Jaguars are they for reals? Because they're when it comes to winning, they're doing it. They're getting the job done, and you know Trevor kind of had one of them games where like, oh, it didn't look too good. 4 interceptions. I mean, that didn't look good. But dang, I mean, Jaguars did enough, man. They did enough to get this win.
Sante Samuel Jr. looked like a Jaguars receiver.
Yeah, it
He had
was
three
looking like
picks, right?
three picks.
He had three.
Yeah, three.
Three.
He's the
Yeah,
one who
but
killed 3 of them. So
yeah, but I mean, look, and then I even saw some NFL insiders saying that, well, now the Chargers can rest their starters. Like I saw those tweets out there, right? And yeah, we know what happened next. They came back and they won the football game. Jacksonville did. But look, you're not going to win a football game by only scoring 3 points in the second half. To me, they kind of dazed up. Let's give credit to Jacksonville because they came back and won the football game. But I do believe some of the blame can be placed on this Chargers football team as well.
I mean, it feels like that's been the story with the Chargers all year, right? Brandon Staley, his questionable play calling and whatnot. We did see that they fired. They released the offensive coordinator Joe Lombardi, I believe,
Yep.
the former
quarterback coach
Saint.
as well.
Yeah, he was with the Saints, right, previously. So
Yep.
they let him go. So obviously, they're going to make some adjustments, and that's the one thing that is always making the adjustments because the Chargers are still a relatively young team, and Herbert, he looks like the real deal. But I mean, it's hard, right? Because you're not going to get any emotions out of him. It's difficult.
Yeah, and we'll go ahead and preview the divisional game between Jacksonville and Kansas City here in a few minutes. Let's talk about the games on Sunday. The early game was the Miami at Buffalo. This was a very close game at the end, right? And everybody thought this might be a blowout because Skylar Thompson was starting at quarterback for the Dolphins, and some poor clock management on the Miami side, I think, is what really cost them the game.
Yeah, the poor clock management. I think Skylar Thompson played better than what a lot of people thought he did. He had a couple bad picks and whatnot, but I think he played better. And I think if Tua plays that game, Dolphins win that game going away, especially in the second half. They got a defensive touchdown and whatnot. And I mean, they just Mostert play. A lot of people forget that Raheem Mostert didn't play. I think that hurt them. They didn't run the ball particularly well, but I think Thompson played a lot better than what people thought, and I don't think. I know Buffalo before the season. Everybody was just all on Buffalo, whatnot. They don't look that good to me. I know they been dealing with some stuff the past couple of weeks, but I think Teddy Bridgewater, a healthy Bridgewater, wins that game for the Dolphins. I mean, you can't. I mean, it literally came down to a couple plays on third down. So I think the Bills looked up there on that one.
Who would have thought, right? Especially with your third string quarterback. I mean, I think who would have thought with a third string quarterback that the Dolphins, like you said, had a chance. And I'm gonna have to probably side with what you just said, Kendall. I mean, we're gonna have to really assess the Buffalo Bills. Are they a little overrated? Or is that what you're basically saying? It's a good question, man. I mean, definitely, it's one of those things. But I'll just tell you this: it looks like if we continue to see this kind of play, it's going to come down to maybe the Chiefs being the favorite in the entire AFC, man.
Well, I'll say this much: if they play like this, against Cincinnati this weekend, they will not win on Sunday. They gotta correct the mistakes. And look, to me, Josh Allen looked kind of jumpy at times, right? I mean, there was a point I think it was in the third quarter when they were trailing, he overthrew a receiver, and just he just couldn't make anything happen.
And like you said, man, Joe Burrow. I mean, I think I don't know if we've had that conversation here. I mean, when you look at it, Joe Burrow is the real deal, man. Like he is the real deal. So that's going to be a hell of a matchup, man. If it comes down to quarterbacks, who are you banking on to to seal the deal and get you the dub at the end of the game? Joe Burrow or Josh Allen?
Yeah, Bengals dealing with some offensive line issues, which we get into in a few minutes. A few minutes, and we break down that game. But I don't know if Buffalo will be able to get after it because they missing Von Miller or whatnot. So they really won't really rush in Kyle Thompson like that.
But the X factor this weekend, Damar Hamlin will be at the game. He obviously had the cardiac arrest, during that Bengals and Bills game, and it looks like he's going to be at this game this Sunday. So that's going to be obviously an emotional thing for Buffalo to have him there, and the crowd's going to be electric, and I cannot wait to see that matchup.
Javier says Joe Burrow is cooking bison on Sunday. Damn, so he's giving his prediction already. So he feels good about the Joe Burrow. What was it, Joe Shiesty? What were they calling him last year?
They were calling him Macaulay Culkin. I mean, they were calling all kinds of things, man.
Hey, that guy has swag, man. I ain't gonna call him no Macaulay Culkin because I tell you this, that guy has swag and he can play his damn game good too.
Yeah, I'll just call him Kevin McAllister, I believe his name in Home Alone. Well, let's talk about that game last weekend for the Bengals between the Ravens and the Bengals. Another game with a backup quarterback that a lot of people were expecting to be a blowout. Baltimore kept the game close. At the end, they had the opportunity to come back and tie the game, but there was a crucial turnover, and I believe it was Tyler Huntley that tried to sneak the ball over the goal line, and it was Hubbard, right, that returned it for a touchdown. And essentially, that was the difference in the game.
That changed the game big time. Once again, like I just said, if Tua plays for the Dolphins or hit the Bridgewater, Miami wins. If Lamar plays, Ravens win that game. They win. They had a pretty good defensive plan. Bengals didn't really light up on offense, whatnot, but their defense came to play, whatnot, and it was Tyler Huntley. I know J.K. Dobbins had some post-game comments. He wasn't too happy about only getting 12, 13 carries, I believe. Yeah. So it wasn't a good outing there for there. He was running the ball particularly well, but Huntley, and this is a separate segment. Lamar and the Ravens, they did him a lot of stuff, but they got to pay the man. They got to pay him, and it's not look like it's going to end well there in Baltimore for Lamar. It looked like they're headed for a split.
Javier, Huntley tried to dunk and came up short. Hey, but I mean, let's talk about that play though, because almost like it feels like almost 9 out of 10 times that play works for every quarterback that does it, right? And there was nothing in particular that he did. That was kind of like a very kind of man, they just caught a break, man.
We have seen it happen a couple of times before, and I figured, you're at the goal line. The safest thing to do would be to sneak it, but for whatever reason, he jumped over and he tried to cross the ball over the goal line and he fumbled the ball.
Well, but you're right, because like you said, I mean, we're so sold on the Buffalo Bills, we're sold on the Bengals, but look at those games. They don't look good, especially especially when you're trying to make your push into past the divisional, but also get into the conference championship. Now I'm questioning myself. who is the strongest team in that AFC right now? Because if you're not paying attention, the Jags will still win from you, man. They're that type of team.
But let me ask you something as well. I mean, do you think these teams kind of were like, we're going to win this football game. We really don't need a, like maybe I'm not saying they weren't trying, right? Because that's not the word. But maybe in the back of their heads, they're like, no, we're better. They're playing with the backup quarterback. We should beat this team.
I would hope not, and I'm saying that sincerely. Like I don't think so. I don't really see that in any of these teams. I think if anything, the Buffalo Bills came in with kind of like that impression, right? Like they wanted to help DeMar with his spirits and whatnot. So, I mean, it just kind of like it just didn't fall in the favor for them, right? And so when you look back at that hindsight, it just shows you that no matter what quarterback you think is the real deal, I mean, in reality, they have bad games too, man. They have great games, and then they'll have a bad game. So, whenever you want to start pointing fingers, you got to be fair, man, and be fair across the board. Trevor Lawrence, like I said, he had 4 picks. I mean, is that a good game? I'm asking both of you a question. Yes
it's
or
not
no?
a good game.
Okay.
Not a good game. But he brought back
his bad game.
It's bad game, right? Did Josh Allen play his best ball on that day?
No.
Okay. And then Joe Burrow, right? Like, did Joe Burrow do enough to seal the deal or seal the win early in the game?
His defense did.
His defense secured the win, right?
They don't get that Hubbard return. I mean, who knows? I mean, that Baltimore probably scored. I believe, what was that, first down? Was it second down maybe? But they don't get that Hubbard return there. That game, I mean,
what are the chances of them scoring right there? It's got to be like 97, 98%. You know what I mean? So, but it is what it is, and that's how the game ended up being.
Javier says none of these AFC teams look good. The NFC is looking way better.
Yeah.
You might have a point there, right? Which is surprising given the season. The NFC looked weak in the season. Now they are catching fire.
Yep.
And I think he actually has a point. I haven't heard anybody talk about that narrative at all. Well, let's talk about it though. Or let's finish.
Well, let's finish recapping the games real quick.
The game, you know what I mean? I get pumped.
I myself picked 2 games wrong this weekend, and this one was one of them. The Giants beating the Minnesota Vikings in Minneapolis.
Yeah, a lot of people thought the Giants would beat Minnesota because of the last game they played was so close. It didn't go to overtime, did it? It was last few seconds they kicked the game in the field goal. Saquon Barkley looked amazing. Whatnot. I know he had he didn't have 100 yards, but he helped out the Giants in other ways, catching the ball, running the ball, blocking and whatnot. Daniel Jones, then he dimes. It's looking real good. Baby Eli, he looks like Eli Manning, but he looked real good on running the ball and throwing it. How about this Isaiah Hodgins kid? I mean, he played pretty good for the Giants and whatnot. Darius Slay, they don't have nobody that you have to worry about on the outside of whatnot. They've had a bunch of injuries, but Daniel Jones they're making it happen. They're making it work with what they got, and they look real good.
I believe Isaiah Hodgins came from the Dolphins, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So that just goes to show you.
Came from the big Buffalo. That's where
Buffalo. Why did I say the Dolphins? But I will. Same division. Yeah, at least I got that right. But I will say this. It just goes to show you, like, damn, if you get the right coach in place, and he's able to play to the strengths of his players, what kind of a season do you think other teams could have if they get that right matchup?
Well, I'm gonna give myself a tap on the back real quick because I did say that Brian Daboll was gonna bring out the best in Daniel Jones before the year started, and that's exactly what's happened. And to me, I mean, he makes a whole difference. I mean, we can tell.
3 NFC East teams are in the playoffs at this point in this juncture, and I'll tell you this much right now. And yeah, look what basically he's basically saying what you're saying. He's basically turned Daniel Jones into Josh Allen 2.0, man. And I mean, I don't know, right? I mean, he has the same skill set, but damn, 3 NFC East teams, guys, in this divisional round of the playoffs. I mean, it's crazy, man. Just to think.
Yeah, it's crazy. And let's go and recap that Monday Night Football game between the Dallas Cowboys and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Cowboys got off to a really hot start. Honestly, this game was never really a game. And then, but when the kicker, Maher, kept on missing the extra points, I'm like, well, he's leaving the door open for Tampa to come back.
I mean, if you take away any negatives from this game, it's hard to take away. It's right. It's the kicker. That's it. Outside of that, they played a clean game or whatnot. And if they made those points, I mean, the score looks a little bit. It's just 4 points, but it looks a little bit worse. What can I say? The Cowboys pass rush, Michael Parsons. I mean, they had a pretty good game. I think the game turned in the red zone with Curse picked off Brady. I think it turned right
Yeah.
there, and then everything just went down here from there. The Bucks look like they've been looking all year, looking like an old car that can't just get it going, and that's what happened. Dak Prescott. How can I forget that Dak Prescott looked good? If he plays like this, Dallas can go real far, and I think they will go far, and they're gonna need this week against San Francisco.
I mean, I feel like I can't really say anything, man. Look at the smile on my face. I mean, I feel like if I say anything about the Cowboys, I'll feel like a homer. But I will tell you this.
Go ahead.
No, yeah. I mean,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
2020 wasn't easy on you, and you both of y'all didn't let me. Then you guys, I mean, you guys were harsh on me on 2020. But I will say this: that monkey that grew to the size of a gorilla in literally a season is off of Dak's shoulders. But I will tell you this: what is very scary right now is that the Dallas Cowboys, they took that first game, that first, the opening week, they took it very serious. They took the one and done very seriously. They wanted to make sure that the NFL is put on notice. Now and you could see it's very evident in the actual, the little press conferences that they're involved. You could hear all the players are literally on board on the same train, and they're going in the same destination. And you know what? All of them want revenge against the 49ers. And they know exactly what happened, what went wrong with the 49ers last year. I'll tell you this: I am very surprised with both the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. I give them a hats off for uh, changing the Cowboys playoff season around, right? Because that Commanders game did not that Commanders game did not look good for Dak. But I'll tell you this: it just shows you when Dak is when he's locked in, damn man, he looks unstoppable. And that's all. I'll leave it at that. I know Javier wants to chime in. Dak played a hell of a game. That defense was making Godwin pay for every catch. I don't know if you guys saw that. Did you guys see that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was getting smacked.
And it's crazy because that's kind of where I was telling you, Dan Quinn, he has Israel Makuma, right? Who is his 6'4" safety. What he did was he basically brought him down and made him play slot, and he lined him up with Godwin. And man, they took it to Godwin, and Godwin was getting smacked around all game, man. So yeah, I believe somebody had. I don't know if it was Javier. I know on the Cowboy Cast somebody was saying he's probably taking an ice bath to this day right now. So that's one way of saying it.
Yeah. All right. So let's go into preview divisional weekend in the NFL. The first game on Saturday, New York Football Giants visiting the Philadelphia Eagles, the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Third meeting for the year. Go ahead and pick it. I'm gonna go with Philly. They're home and rested, coming off a bye, whatnot, and they know the Giants real. I'm gonna go with the Eagles in a close one though.
Is that the first game?
First game.
Yes.
No, that's not.
Is it?
Yep.
Is it?
First game.
Jacksonville, Kansas.
The Jags and the Chiefs.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
The Jags and the Chiefs, but we'll go ahead and stick with the Giants and the Eagles. That one's for me it's 7:15. Giants and Eagles. You know what? Give me the upset, man. I'm going with the New York Giants here. I think they're coming in with momentum, and that Eagles, they look kind of stale at the very end. And I'll tell you this: that week off does not help out any team that looks stale going into the playoffs.
Real quick, Jerry. Is this an upset pick or this a heart pick? Because we know what happens if you. I know you can go with the Dallas to beat 49ers, but if the Giants beat the Eagles, they get to go to Dallas. That's a home game. So is it a heart pick or which one is it?
No, I'm calling it how I see it, man. Did you see how the backups were fighting to win against all the starters basically the last game of the season? I mean, dude, okay. We even saw Kenny Galladay get his first touchdown on Darius Slay. Like that just goes to show you, yeah, man, this team is going in and kind of stale, bro. Like I don't trust the Giants in this game. In fact, I like the Giants because of the momentum. And I think that they're gonna ride in. They're gonna surprise the Eagles.
Yeah, I like the Eagles in this matchup. Too much talent. New York, the Giants have been a really nice story this season, but I think it ends on Saturday against the Eagles. And yeah, I like the Eagles to win against the Giants. All right, let's talk about the game that I skipped over. Maybe because it's not even really going to be a game. But you never know. Jacksonville visiting Kansas City. Obviously, Jags coming off that comeback win. They were down 27-0 at one point, won the game 30-31. And Kansas City's been resting at home for a week, and now they get to host a playoff game.
Great story for the Jazz. It was a close game early in the year. I felt like the Jazz kind of turned the ball over a lot and they missed on some opportunities. Made it close late, but I'm gonna go with KC. This will be a real close one though. Can't sleep on Jacksonville. Give me the Chiefs.
Before I move on, right? I've ever got a little comment in there for you, Kendall. He says, Kendall, the Giants are a different team and have confidence. They have nothing to lose.
Man, that's that Cowboy fandom talking to y'all. Y'all want that home game next week.
Man, come on now. I'll tell you this: the Eagles had a great season this year, man. But I'll tell you this: I mean, it's kind of hard. Jalen Hurts that hasn't had the reps, dude. Like, you got to have reps. You got to have reps, especially in this playoffs, man. Like, it is what it is, man. What? I think the Chiefs take this one, but Jags make it a. Okay. I thought he said something else, but no, man. I'm being sincere. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I just the way I see it is Eagles are coming off of their first playoff win in quite some time. That's a lot of momentum, and so Eagles, like I said, the game will run for the number with their number ones and them resting. So it's a good situation. But let's get back on subject. I don't mean to sound like a homer, but I sound like a homer. Go Giants. What is it? Big Blue. What did they go? Jaguars versus Chiefs, though, right? We're talking about this one. I think this is where the story that storytell ending ends, man. You can't make those kind of mistakes with Patrick Mahomes. So I really do believe that it is going to be a close game, but you just can't make those mistakes with Mahomes. Mahomes is going to find a way to come back in this game. Mahomes is the guy that every team should be cautious of, but we've also seen Mahomes play some bad games. So. And this one, I don't see that. I don't see them having too bad of a game, but I do think there's going to be a little bit of rust that the Jaguars are going to wake them up a little bit.
I'm going to take the Chiefs, but I think they're going to win with the last-second field goal at the end.
It's going to be a close game, in other words.
Yeah, it's going to be a really close game. So, all right, and then moving on to Sunday's matchups between first one, Cincinnati visiting Buffalo. Obviously, again, it's a rematch of week 17, if I recall correctly, between the Bengals and the Bills. Hamlin is going to be there at the stadium. So, obviously, I think that's just going to make this team play even harder than what they're going to already, right? So, I think that's definitely going to take into what happens to this game, him being there. I think it's a huge part of it.
Yeah, I think it is, but I'm still going to go with the Bengals in the close one. I'm going with Cincinnati. Last second field goal, 30-27.
Even with the O-line issues that they're having?
Yes, they had the same O-line issues, but probably worse last year, and look where they got to the Super Bowl.
I'm actually gonna side with Kendall in this one, because if you look at what they're doing on offensively, the way they're actually, like, it's weird, man. The way they're lining up their offensive line, it almost looks like it's like it gets teams like saying, like, are you serious? And they're getting people off guard with the way they're actually lining up this Bengals team. So I'm gonna go with the Bengals in this one. And that's because I felt the Bills were going to be the favorite one to actually go on and win the Super Bowl for us this year. Javier says the Bengals will win this one. Woo! That's 3 right there. Can we make it 4? Right? Bengals defense are very underrated. Good point too. Can we make it 4, Fidel?
It will not be 4, even though Buffalo's doing one defensive backfield. Give me Buffalo. Emotional win.
It's crazy because, I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand the emotional part of it, and I don't mean to be, I understand, and it'd be great for Buffalo if that does happen, but I can't count out Joe Burrow. But at the same token, man, damn, man, you can't count out Joe Burrow, man. Like Kendall said it, man. You said it right on the money, dude. He didn't even have a good offensive line last year, and you made it to the Super Bowl like that.
I just got a feeling, man. Buffalo. Buffalo.
All right. Lone Wolf. The Lone Wolf on that one.
Yeah, and I think Buffalo's going to end up taking the chairs and tables to Atlanta, where the AFC Championship game is going to be played against Kansas City.
Damn.
But
That means
now,
you're already calling the AFC divisional round too.
yep. But now to the game that this is probably my favorite game of the weekend. Dallas visiting the San Francisco 49ers. A rematch from last year's wild card round. And we all remember how that ended. Right, Jerry?
Not good.
Not good.
Yeah.
So
It's still, I mean, if you're asking a Cowboy, we still have scars on that, man. There's still scars there.
well, I think it might be Redemption Sunday. What do you guys think?
I get that all with the revenge, the redemption Sunday, and the scars and all that. I completely understand it, and that's nice to know and hear. But this is a different 49er football team. I talked to Harvey last night. It won't come in. Talked to Harvey last night. I just feel different about this 49 team. I think it's a great story. Just imagine the storylines of the 49ers winning with Mr. Irrelevant at quarterback, Brock Purdy, third string quarterback. I think it's a great story for the 49ers. That defense is physical. They're fast. I know Dallas got some stars too. And Debo Samuel. This is not the same 49 team y'all seen last year. They've added a couple bit. They're more healthy. They're more explosive. I think McCaffrey is the X factor. I'm going with the 49ers. Not as dominant as they did it last year. I know it came into a last second with Dak and whatever happened there, not getting the snap right. But the 49ers win this game a close window.
I can respect that. I can respect that. I feel that, regardless if I'm trying not to be a homer or not, I'm going to ride with my team. So Dallas Cowboys are winning. I think that when it all comes down to it, it's a great story. It's a great story. And in fact, I think that the storyline for next season is going to be who do the 49ers start, Trey Lance or Brock Purdy? Just saying.
Hey,
I
don't know if you saw, but Tennessee did get a new general manager today, and he's from the 49ers organization.
He did. And is D'Amico Ryan's going to be there next year?
No, he's gone.
Because
he's going to be a head coach somewhere.
They interviewed Vic Fangio today for the defensive coordinator position. So that just goes to tell you, I mean, they're tipping off a lot of things already. So there's going to be a little bit of a turnover there with the 49ers. But I will tell you this, it's not hard to see the reason why they want to bring in Vic Fangio, and the reason why this defense has been so good is because what they're doing is they basically are disguising their cover 6 defense, and that's why this defense has been so good. I've been making fun of him, Hafunga, or what's his how do you say it?
Hafunga.
I've been making fun of him. I've been calling him Fungus, Tafunga. I've been calling him everything to Topanga, everything. But I will say this,
there's a baller.
He is a baller, and everything is. So okay. So for the way for it to work is the way that defense has been so successful is because of him. He's been balling. He's been helping with coverage and with the actual shallow part of the middle of the defense. So he's so rangy. He's so good. He's a sure tackler. He's really good. But that allows Nick Bosa to get home. So I will tell you this. If it comes down to this game, I believe it's going to be a really tough battle, and I think it's going to come down really close. I think at the very end, it's going to be what quarterback comes out. It's going to come down to the quarterbacks. And in this situation, are you trusting Brock Purdy, or are you trusting a Dak who we've seen? He goes. Dak does get. He does go and he does lay an egg on us Cowboys sometimes. Commanders is most notable. It's an annoying game, but if you saw how locked in he was, if we get that Dak Prescott showing up to this game, that's game over, man. And I'm sorry, 49ers, but it's time for you guys to go packing. I even see the Cowboys are getting a little fun, man. What did Harvey have to say? Dallas will get revenge. Dak is focused. He wants revenge. He's locked in. I feel different about this Cowboys team, Kendall. Me too, Kendall.
You told me that last night, so we'll see.
You're right, Kendall. This is going to be a different matchup because you don't have Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback. You got Brock Purdy, a rookie quarterback, going against a Dan Quinn defense, and honestly, that's why I'm picking the Dallas to win this football game. He is bound to make some mistakes, and I think he's going to make some on Sunday.
I'll be the lone wolf here.
It's all good. It's all good though, because I'll tell you this: that defense is solid. And the thing that the Cowboys need to realize is just know that they don't give you no pre-snap looks. That's what they do. They're very disciplined. So they give you like this cover 2, cover 3, cover 4 look, and it's just they're basically disguising it. So what they basically do is they break off and they get to their assignments, and then from there, what they do they're trying to give the time that Nick Bosa needs to get to the quarterback. If not, let him go to the check down. So that's why the 49ers have been very good, because they've been able to suffocate. So it's going to be about if it comes down to it, I really do believe in Dak, and I believe his legs will be the X factor in this game. So it's all good, respectfully. So thank you, Fidel, for siding with me.
Yeah, I like Dallas to win this football game. I just,
Oh, damn. He says Fidel hit it on the nose. That's why I'm confident. You're like, what do
yeah,
you
look, it's been a nice story for him or whatnot, Mr. Allen, and he might be in the running to be the starting quarterback for this football team moving forward. But I think that ends Sunday. I really think Dallas is going to play the better football, and just Dan Quinn. I mean, it might be his going out party because he's probably going to be the Denver head coach next season. I mean, who knows, right? But odds are he's going to be a head coach somewhere next season, and what a way to end it than getting revenge on a bad playoff loss from last season.
I think it's going to be a very interesting game. My question to you guys is: do they break the TV record for this playoff game?
Yes, I was actually thinking about that earlier.
Possibly.
I think
Tampa and Dallas almost did. Possibly.
They almost did it, right?
No, they did since '99. It was the highest playoff game viewed since 1999.
With like 30.2 million.
I think last year, whenever they met, it was like 30, 32 that watched the game. I think this year is going to be close to 50.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I was going to say maybe 40, right? But shoot.
No, it's a huge game. And obviously here in California, I mean, a lot of people are going to watch it. I mean, anywhere, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
We're talking about two fan bases that have fans everywhere. So should be a very interesting divisional weekend. With that being said, gentlemen, any final thoughts or predictions before we end today's show?
Nope, just appreciate everybody joining us. And hey, man, last weekend was crazy. This weekend, I think we're in store for an even crazier weekend. And also, make sure y'all follow Ken's Pats Talk on YouTube. Patriots all season got off to a great start. We interviewing some OCs, but about to get it going there. But appreciate everybody joining us.
I'll wait. I was gonna use my soundboard. You said, do you have anything else, right? But no. Hey, I just want to say thank you. We really appreciate it. We're entering year 3, and none of this could be possible without any of you all. So we really do appreciate all the love and support.
Yeah, thank you everyone out there for watching and listening. And we'll have your coverage right before the games on Saturday and Sunday as well. But with that being said, thank you everyone out there for watching and listening. Enjoy the games this week and have a good night.